Welcome back to our videos notes on similar triangles. Today we are going to begin looking at some of our similarity theorems. The theorem that we're looking at today is known as your angle-angle similarity, which means if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then the triangles are similar. Okay. Because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, is always 180 degrees, that third angle will be also congruent. Okay, so if I have angle A is congruent to angle D, and angle B is congruent to angle E, then I know that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay, this right here is known as your similarity statement. Okay, this is an example of your similarity statement. So, if two pairs of corresponding angles are congruent, the triangles have the same exact shape to them. Corresponding side lengths are proportional to each other, and those triangles may have different sizes. Okay, they may not be the exact same. So we're going to look at a couple different examples of triangle similarity, and we're going to write out the similarity statements. Okay, so number 1 gives me triangle CDE and triangle FGE. I'm only told here that CD is parallel to FG. That's currently the only information I know right now. As I look more at my figure, I can see that I have a pair of vertical angles, which is going to make angle DEC congruent to angle GEF. Okay. Because I have parallel lines, my transversal rules still apply. So segment DF is actually a transversal line, which means that angle F here is congruent to angle D. So I have two similar figures. Okay. So yes, they are similar due to my angle-angle similarity theorem. And if I were to write it out as a statement, I would say that triangle CDE is similar, to triangle GFE. Okay. At first, it was a little harder to tell which of my angles were corresponding to each other, but the moment that I marked out my alternate interior angles from my transversal lines, I could see that angle F and D are now congruent, so it makes sure that I'm writing my statement in the proper order. Okay. Example 2. I have triangle ABD and triangle FEG. I don't have the measure of angle E or the measure of angle B, but I can find either of those measures by adding my other two values inside my triangle. So if I'm going to add 68 and 54, that is going to give me a measure of 119. Well, I can subtract 119 from 180, and I get 61 degrees. Okay, so again, 68 and 54. Oh, sorry, I mismathed actually. That is not 119, that's 122. And 122 from is 58 degrees. So I have 68 plus 54. It's 58 degrees. Okay. Now, looking at my two triangles, I do have two angles with both 68 degrees. But angle G and angle E don't match angle B or D, which means these two triangles are not similar. Okay. And if I wanted to make sure, I could add 68 and 63, which will give me 131. When I subtract 131 from 180, I am left with 49 degrees. If I subtract it from 180, angle E is 49 degrees, which means I do not have two congruent angles. So example 2 is not similar due to my angle similarity. Okay, please write at least one question that you still have about angle similarity. We will continue to practice with this as we look at a couple other theorems. Have a great evening.